The most effective way you can heal your trauma, the most effective way you can improve your mental health. For example, you see a lot of YouTubers like Hamza talk about improving your mental health. And people say, oh, just get therapy. But it's not that simple. It's not just getting therapy and talking your problems away. The big key issue here is that you are resisting your emotions, and this resistance causes you pain. And we're going to elaborate more on this video. To give you some context about who I am, my name is João and I run this Approaching Authenticity channel. I'm a space engineer. I used to do artificial intelligence. Now I'm working on the business side of the company. And for most of my life, man, I struggled with anxiety and depression. So believe me, I tried almost everything that you can imagine for improving my mental health. And this is the thing that worked the best. So the first thing you need to understand about mental health is trauma. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, yeah, trauma. I didn't go to war. I didn't get into a car accident. I didn't see anyone die. I'm just a regular guy. What do you mean I am traumatized? But you are. And I'm going to explain you why. You see, when you're a kid, when you're, let's say, 2, 3, 5, 7, 11 years old, you don't have a good perception of the world. Let's say you go to school. The school is your entire world. So if somebody in school, or if you get a bad reputation, or if somebody at school insults you or yells at you, this is a very big deal to you because the school is your entire world. And so let's say there's a common example. Let's say the teacher yells at you or calls you dumb during a class. Of course, in a regular world, as an adult, you would think, okay, whatever, it's just the teacher calling a kid dumb, like it's no big deal. But as a kid, your perception is so limited, and you think it's as if the biggest authority or one of the biggest authorities in your entire world called you dumb. And this has a tremendous impact on you. Or maybe the teacher yelled at you and scared you. This has a tremendous impact on you. It's as if it's inconceivable to think of as an adult, but as a kid, this is a huge deal. And what you do is you get traumatized. That's how trauma starts. The teacher yells at you, you get so scared that you can't really process this emotion because you feel like you're going to die, so you just stuff it away. For example, animals, when they do this, they're able to physically shake their trauma away. If they don't die, they'll freeze and then they'll shake their trauma away when they're safe. But as humans, we don't do this. What we do is we keep rationalizing. We use our brain, our mind is able to take these emotions and explain it to us why it's normal to be scared when people yelled at you, because this happens. So now you're an adult and when somebody raises your voice, you'll get scared, you'll get uncomfortable, and you'll maybe be less confrontational than you should. Maybe your boundaries are violated and you don't do anything about it because you're afraid to confront people now because they may yell at you, and that makes you feel like you're dying, exactly the same as you're a kid, because you're traumatized. So your trauma never really got resolved. As you can see, you're an adult now and you're scared of people yelling at you, or you're scared of being confrontational. And this is the issue that plagues most people. Obviously not just with yelling. There's a whole myriad, infinite possible situations where you can get traumatized as a kid. And so the issue is that now as adults, we keep talking, we have conversations about, oh, I feel very socially anxious about going to a dinner party, right? And what will a therapist tell you? You just need exposure therapy to tell yourself, okay, it's okay when I go. I'm not saying that doesn't work, but I don't think it's a permanent result. Because the thing is, you can go and you can desensitize yourself to social anxiety, but eventually, if you spend long enough without going to dinner parties, let's say as an example, what happens is that you start getting anxious again. Because you still have the trigger within you. You still have those emotions that you didn't want to experience. You're still doing the same thing. So the only way you can actually heal, the only way you can actually process those emotions that you're resisting is to actually dive into them. And so how do you do this? How do you dive into those emotions? How do you face these inner demons that you have within you? So the answer here is meditation. Meditation is the only thing, in my experience, and believe me, I have a lot of experience on personal development and mental health and dealing with mental health. The only thing that will happen, that will allow you to process these emotions, is meditation. So what do you do? My personal recommendation, and I will do a separate video in depth about how I meditate, but my recommendation is you sit down and you try to recreate this sensation, these emotions that you don't want to feel. And it's going to be really difficult because all your instincts are going to fight you against this, because it's going to feel like you're dying, because you're probably so scared of feeling these emotions at the time. That's why you repressed them in the first place and you never wanted to feel them again. So you're going to feel a lot of resistance when trying to evoke them again, and it might be really difficult for you. So a good way to audit this is to think about the times you get triggered. Think about the fear that you feel when you go to a dinner party. You sit down at home and you try and feel that fear and try to relax into that fear. That's the best approach I can give you. Because when you do this, you're trying to tell your body, hey, it's okay, we're not going to die if we feel the thing we're trying to get away from. And so you keep trying to relax and you keep trying to meditate, so you keep trying to meditate, which means you keep trying to focus on this sensation, on the sensations, not on the thoughts. Because the thoughts arise as a rationalization of what you're feeling. They're not really intelligent. They're just an explanation of a sensation. So you want to ignore all these thoughts and you just want to feel raw sensations from these triggering moments. That's what you want to do. And you just want to be with yourself and keep feeling them and let them come up. And eventually you'll start to hit a point where your body is going to start shaking and you're going to feel really uncomfortable. And this is good actually, because this means that you're getting closer and your body is getting scared and scared and scared, because the perception you had as a kid is still within you. So you still think you're going to die if you experience that emotion, but you're not going to die, obviously. And the more you allow yourself to feel and feel and feel until you get to the point where you can feel exactly what you felt during that fucking classroom, then you can finally be liberated from that trauma. And believe me, you'll be liberated from the trauma permanently, because you let go of the charge behind it. You let go of the emotion you're resisting. You were able to feel it. And once you're feeling it, there's nothing to resist, so you're not scared anymore. This is very complicated. But believe me, it is the only thing that has changed my mental health. And I tried a lot of things. I could list all the things that I've tried. It was a lot of things, and this included therapy. Granted, there's fantastic therapies out there, and I didn't try all of them. There's probably therapists who will recommend the same thing that I am. Some resources, if you don't like, I'm not an authority on this matter, obviously. I learned this from other people. So the people who I learned the most from, actually I was personally mentored by one of them, was Julian Blanc, and Geber Made. So they both talk about this. Geber Made is especially interesting. I just recently found about him, and he deals a lot with trauma, and he even goes further and he says that the trauma that we experience as kids and the challenges that we have throughout our lives are pre-planned, so what he says is that our subconscious mind puts us in situations during adulthood that lead us to heal our childhood trauma. Well, I don't know if I'm 100% on board with that, but what I do know is that this meditation technique is really powerful, and it's the only thing, and I guarantee you it's the only thing that has healed my trauma, and I have a kind of fucked up mental health from being a kid. So yeah, that has been the video. If you're interested in these kind of videos which touch on personal development and spirituality and psychology and productivity, hit the subscribe button, because I'll be making more of these videos in the future, as these are topics which I'm really passionate about. And so thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you next time.